It's been a really good weekend, and I am sitting here packing up shipping for today, which includes Monday being a holiday. So this is sales between noon on this past Saturday, the 15th, through 2 o'clock today on Tuesday, the February the 18th. And we have 19 sales that I need to get packed up and shipped off, and I'm so thankful for that. I really just wanted to share a little bit, just a few of the reasons why I think that eBay has become a great business opportunity for Michael and I. And the number one reason, I think, is probably because we just enjoy the work. It's been a while since we were both doing something that we really, really enjoyed. If you don't know Michael and I, we used to have a house flipping business. Michael has been in construction his entire life. Comes from a family of home builders. And we've spent probably the past 15 years, I guess, in the home renovation business. And he's worked for several companies that renovated houses, mainly to turn into rental houses. And there's a part of us that really enjoyed that because there's a sense of like giving a home a second life or second chance. And being believers, that just really resonates with us. But the industry has changed so much. Also, reaching our 50s, we started to see that work ethic is not what it used to be, not what we grew up being taught. And it's really hard when you try to maintain a standard and you're working for people who don't really care. They care when they are making a Facebook post or, a commercial or an ad or something. They claim to care about people and quality, but the reality is that's often not the case. And when the rubber meets the road, they're always going to choose the dollar over the quality. And that just didn't sit well with Michael after a lifetime of being taught that if you're going to do something, do it right. And just doesn't sit well with him to say that's good enough. And so anyway, in being your own boss, and eBay provides that, we're able to set our own standards that we meet. There are minimum standards that eBay sets, and there are plenty of sellers that only do the bare minimum, and that's fine. That's their business, and they can run it the way they feel led. We choose not to do that. Now, I will admit that when we first started out, well, Michael started on eBay really a month or so before I joined him. And when I joined him, I was seeing that not everybody on eBay does this. Not everybody on eBay washes and irons and, takes care of all these things in their on their listings. And I didn't want to work harder than anybody else, but I agreed that we would do things the right way. And I stuck it out, and I got a little faster at what I was doing, and I continued to get a little faster at what we're doing. But for the most part, I will say that it does bring me more joy to be able to give something new life again, and know that someone is going to be made happy with an item, and serves them. It does bring joy. So being able to be our own boss in that way, and establish our standards and stick to what we believe is right, and work that we know that we feel good about, means a lot to us. So nobody wants to have or do meaningless work. You can do it, and if the paycheck is the only thing that's important to you, then, and you don't really care, then you do you. We're going to run our business the way we feel like we should, and we want to know that we have properly cleaned and prepared and photographed and provided good information on an item, and provide good customer service on the things that we sell. Another thing that I really enjoy, and I really enjoy seeing right now, is the fact that God is steadily blessing our business. Not gonna lie, the first couple of months, first really 3 or 4 months, it was tough to work such long days. We really worked very long days because we were slow at everything that we did. And sourcing was painful. Everything that we considered purchasing, I had to pull out my phone and I had to look at the sell-through rate and research it and see what the prices were and see if we were going to make enough money off of it in order to purchase it. And it was tough. Like, it was really exhausting, and I would come home every day with a headache from our sourcing days, because it just was a lot of work and training my brain to think in a way it hadn't had to. We now have gotten to the point where we have 10 months of seeing what sells for us, what prices those things sell for, what things we shouldn't have picked up, and then the things that we should pick up more of. So it's becoming easier, although it's definitely constantly changing. And so that kind of brings me to another thing that I like about eBay, and that is the fact that it, as we are in our late 50s now, eBay, keeping up with the things that eBay is looking at, the trends of what's selling and what's not selling, and keeping up with the simple technology of how eBay works and new features that are being added all the time. It's like keeping our brains active, and there's always something to learn. And I've always believed that we should be lifelong learners, and so this is definitely keeping us on our toes in that arena. I do love too that what we're doing is physically less taxing than what we did when we were renovating houses. When we were renovating houses, we attempted to sub out a lot of the work, and we did some of the work ourselves, but we always ended up doing more of the work than we had planned. And this 58-year-old woman just is not physically fit for that now. So I am thankful to have a business that can age with us. There are some things that we need still to tweak about how we are storing our inventory. I'll make another video on that later, because it is definitely it's in progress. Let's just say we have stored things currently the cheapest way possible, with keeping everything super clean. But it has meant storing things in bins that are now stacked, and I just worked on inventory last night, and so we have currently 50 bins of inventory, and I touched all 50 of those bins last night. And let me just say that when I went to bed, I felt it. So magnesium and Aleve and lots of water were the diet for last night before I went to bed. But I am thankful that I can still move the bins and I can still do all that. But we are definitely looking to change our inventory system to something that is more manageable as we age. I also love the fact that I get to work with my favorite person in the world, and that's my husband. There are some couples that don't tend to work well together. Michael and I have always worked well together. I think that this is one time that we are working well, and I don't know, maybe we're just starting to understand each other better, and we're starting to see each other's strengths. And that's kind of cool to see how Michael is more a strategic person and I'm more an artistic person. We both love research, but he really loves the research and the strategy behind how something works and decisions that need to be made. So I love being able to leave the sales to him, and I manage the inventory and I do the photography. We both do the shopping together, but we both are analyzing and looking at things together. But it's really neat to see how our giftings help us to grow in different areas of the business. I know that I'm blessed to be able to have my husband to work with me, but this is still a business that one person could do. For those of you who don't have your husband to work with you, my hat is off to you, because I like when there's things that I don't want to do that I can hand off to him. But when you're working by yourself, you have to handle all of it yourself. Another thing that I love about the work that we do is that we're out in the public at least a couple of times a week. Well, actually, we're out in public pretty much every day, even if it is just a trip to the post office. We're interacting with people every day, and so while we work from home, we're not 100% from home, so that's nice to be able to get out and do something different every once in a while. Yesterday, we were outsourcing, and in one of the thrift stores that we were in, we just took a little bit of time to just go meander through the store. We weren't looking for anything in particular. I was just curious to see, what kind of knickknacks and antiques and pieces of furniture they actually had in this store. And if I were on someone else's clock, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So I appreciate the fact that we can stop, we can slow down, we can have a cup of coffee in the middle of the afternoon and pick up our work and stop it, whenever we want. So it's up to us when the work gets done. It's up to us how the work gets done. I love that bit of freedom. And I also love that I get to be able to share what we do with other people. And I hope that we can encourage someone else along the way. eBay does not require a college degree. It doesn't even require a high school diploma. You don't have to be specially trained in any area. It doesn't require a lot of technology. Most everybody has a cell phone. Really, if you just have a smartphone that you can take photos with, you basically can run your entire business off of that phone. Now, I use a laptop, and my husband does use his iPad a lot to just keep tracking offers that he makes, and is able to carry that around with him. But for the most part, it is a very simple business. It doesn't require a lot of equipment. You can do things, you could spend a lot of money on equipment if you want to. We started out for the first, at least 8 or 9 months, we used our regular printer to print all of our labels. And just recently, very recently, our son bought us a Rollo printer because he was tired of watching me cut out labels. But and that has been a blessing. But you don't have to have that. You don't have to have fancy equipment to photograph things. You can spend a ton of money on your photo setup if you want to, but you definitely can keep it very simple. We have the simplest of photo setups for our clothing, but for the smaller items that we photograph, like today, I'm selling, or I'm shipping out a leather tote, and I photographed that in a photo box that I made from pieces of our chicken brooder. So you can use all kinds of things. We have a chicken brooder that has these little white plastic panels, and I thought, hey, it's clean, it's neat, it's bright, and so I just stuck two together and put one piece underneath, and it's a perfect photo booth or white photo box for photographing ties and for small things. So, you know, you don't have to have a lot of equipment. I could have done the same thing with poster board. Again, it's a great business that you can get into with very little money and not much in the way of equipment. But anyway, that's wonderful. Those are just a few of the things that I am really enjoying about this business. And I would love to hear what you love about it. If you're not into reselling or into eBay and you would like to be, I would just invite you to be a part of this community. Just continue to watch our videos as we grow in our journey. We are approaching 1 year, and we definitely are already talking about how we're going to celebrate that. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. I'm sure it's going to include food, but as we are approaching the 1 year mark, I would really love to encourage anyone else who is out there who is interested in learning more about eBay to just throw us your questions. We are learning a ton, and we are hoping to share that with you as we move along in our journey. And I would just love to be able to celebrate wins for us and wins for you as well. So I am going to go finish up my shipping because I need to go to the post office in the next hour, and it takes a minute to pack up 19 packages, and that's exciting. You have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video.